In our top story tonight, a 38-year-old man was shot and killed last night in the H.H. Berg's home area of St. Thomas. 38-year-old Maho Pena of hospital grounds was shot and killed around 8:30 last night. A 19-year-old was grazed as well, and that makes the 28th murder of the year. 9 for St. Thomas District and 19 here on St. Croix. Please call 911 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS for any information on these crimes. And in other news tonight, Chucky Hansen was the only senator in a packed courtroom earlier today. It's all about the deadly LEAC. News Channel 8's Wes Small is all over this one.
This is it, Jerome. We're talking about the deadly and infamous LEAC trial. Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen, plaintiff, the defendants, Hugo Hodge, executive director of WAPA, Donald Ducks Cole, the chairman of the Public Service Commission. I got to tell you, if you can't sleep, this is where you should have been today. Thousands and thousands of legalized papers, injunction, TROs. A lot of people were kind of nodding off as the marshal tapped them on the back. Kind of boring. I haven't seen a boring trial like this since the DNA segment of the OJ trial. But nonetheless, it affects every man, woman, and child. As you can see, folks right here just literally lining up behind me because they say they cannot take this deadly LEAC anymore. With that, we're going to have a series of interviews from Executive Director Hugo Hodge. You're going to hear from the plaintiff, Senator-elect Alicia Chucky Hansen, and from folks just like these who have had enough of the LEAC ruining their lives.
I just want to ask more, where's the other senators? There are 14 senators who represent women here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Where they are? Only when they want to vote, they're coming for we. Why they don't come here with Senator Hansen? She got it good.
¿A dónde están los otros senadores? Porque solamente la senadora Hansen es la que está aquí contribuyendo con el pueblo. Ella es la única que hace frente a las necesidades del pueblo. ¿Dónde están los otros senadores? Son 14 senadores y ninguno de ellos está aquí representando al pueblo. Con lo de WAPA, porque WAPA lo que está haciendo es un abuso con la comunidad, con toda la comunidad de Santa Cruz. La gente tiene que tirarse a la calle a reconocer que la senadora Chucky Hansen es la única que defiende los derechos humanos de toda la población de San Croix.
Please, sir, can you do something about this LEAC? That's my personal thing, and then how do you think it went today?
Well, Wes, I must say I empathize with the ratepayers in the Virgin Islands. I, too, have to pay my LEAC. Okay. So I am not excluded from the LEAC.
Now I feel
all
better.
of us, all of us have to pay the LEAC.
Yes, sir.
But the fact remains that the Public Services Commission operates under orders, and we operate under Title 30 given to us by the legislature. And on that order, if a petition is filed and the Public Services Commission passes a petition, any citizen can appeal that. Any decision of the Public Services Commission is appealable, and that's what we see happening here today. The fact remains is that Senator Hansen filed for a TRO, and the TRO, the burden of proof under the TRO is very, very difficult to prove. The judge has taken that under advisement. He have asked the plaintiff to now resubmit or submit some other information, and he's going to give a decision at the end of the day. The process is being followed. That is basically what it is. And again, Wes, I empathize with the people of the Virgin Islands. When I sit as a public service commissioner and I look at it, I can be sued personally. You know that? I can be sued personally, so every decision I make has to be supported by facts. And once those facts are presented to me, it is upon that basis, myself and my other commissioners, it is upon that basis that I make my decision. The law states X, Y, and Z, and I have to follow X, Y, and Z.
How do you feel about your side, you and the PSC, even though you're really not partners? But what do you think about this? You are the defendants. Do you think it went well for your side today?
What I know is that the LEAC is a burden to businesses, homes, all customers. It's painful. It's the reason that some businesses have closed. It's part of the reason where others have closed. It's causing people to make big decisions as far as medicine and food and paying liability. It's all of those things, yes, but it's not illegal. So I have no doubt that that will be the decision granted on Friday. There are 4 distinct things that have to be met to grant a TRO. None of them were established or displayed. We can argue emotional issues all day, and trust me, we're not unsympathetic. We understand our employees are going through the hardship of the LEAC costs and where energy costs on the territory. I discuss it with employees on a daily basis. The truth of the matter is that because it's painful, or because people are going through the hardship, it doesn't make it illegal, and it's not illegal. It's never been calculated illegally, and I have no doubt in my mind that once the evidence is reviewed and all the documents are reviewed, that'll be the case.
And like you said, you still contend that if there's no LEAC, we're in the dark.
Well, the 75% of our revenues go to pay for fuel. So in the event that we can't pay for fuel, Hovensa's not going to just continue to give us oil if we can't pay for it. If the day that a mechanism for purchasing fuel goes away, Hovensa will put us on cash up front. We'll no longer have credit with them. And it won't be 14 days before we can't pay a bill and we're cut off from delivery and it'll be dark. There's no doubt in my mind. And when we talk about the public being successful, while it may seem like a win if the public has to pay no LEAC, it will be very hurtful to the community if there's no power. There'll be no more industry, there'll be no more business, there'll be no more anything without power.
Senator, in a nutshell, what are your maternal instincts? What does your gut feeling tell you about Judge Harold Willicks and the decision by Friday?
Actually, you never know. I have many years and years of experience. The law could be clear to us, but still, you never know what a judge is going to do. Right now, the judge has requested that an appeal be done to the Public Service Commission. We saw that law. We discussed the law, we analyzed a particular law, and we still decided to come into court because the Public Service Commission has demonstrated they have no interest in getting to the bottom of this, okay? And therefore, when I submitted a request for reconsideration, they indicated no, but it was not even the commission. One man, the chairman of the board, that's not an official order. Okay, because a commission has to act as a commission. One member does not comprise a commission. And therefore, we challenge that. And within his personal denial, he also suggested we go to court. Clearly has no interest in dealing with such an issue. One thing I'd like to make it clear, so people could understand, and no one denied that in court today, and you was there, and this is that. Every penny that we pay in the LEAC has gone before the Public Service Commission based on the increase of the oil market. And that is not supposed to happen in accordance with the third extension agreement. They are only to charge us based on the travel then from Venezuela to St. Croix, the delivery, what it costs them to bring the oil here to St. Croix. In exchange, Hovensa received millions of dollars in tax exemption. So if we are not dealing with extension agreement, then we have to collect the multi-million dollars, which I'm sure converts into billions of dollars over the years from Hovensa in their taxes. What they do instead, Public Service Commission, WAPA, and even Hovensa, they get people who they know they can buy to sell their ideas, okay? People who they can tell, go and say, oh, that because of the oil going up and down. The extension says no up and down fluctuation on oil. What it does say is you have to charge based on the cost to bring the oil, crude oil, from Hovensa, not even the cost to produce the oil, just for the crude oil to St. Croix from Hovensa, telling us a story that they're coming from somewhere else and so forth. None of that is, all of that is null and void. The fact is that if they're not doing it the way it is in the extension agreement, then Hovensa will have to pay the government of the Virgin Islands millions of dollars. But I recognize this is an uphill battle, okay? Yes, you are going after major corporations. You're going over people that they can influence with one way or the other. But Chucky will not give up.
Let me stop you there. It's like you're Chucky the Giant Killer. You are one of 15. It breaks this reporter's heart that you are the only senator in this forum. Where are your co-senators?
Listen,
I have to ask you that. Where are not one, Not one fellow senator was in that courtroom. They don't pay LEAC.
Well, you saw a house full of constituents.
Yes, it was standing room only.
Standing room only. It was spilled out in the hallways and corridors and in the yard here. And these are people that are in pain. Businesses are closing. We have business people there from ice cream parlor, restaurants, marinas that were here today. And they all are feeling it. Who are not feeling it is where they're getting the subsidy somewhere else.
All right.
Okay?
Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen, the plaintiff. Hugo Hodge and Donald Ducks Cole, the defendants. Let's see where it all pans out by Friday. I'm Wes Small, reporting on the deadly LEAC for News Channel 8.
And we want to thank Wes for bringing us that story tonight, as well as the people who came forward to speak their mind about the LEAC. And before we go to a break, a news flash just handed to me this afternoon. If some of you may or may not know that the Women's Coalition caught on fire on Friday, and unfortunately the Women's Coalition is not open for business at this time. Clemma Lewis, the executive director of the Women's Coalition, contacted Wes earlier this afternoon to inform him that tomorrow at 10 a.m. there will be a press conference held for the Women's Coalition to see how the community can help with this tragedy. And when we come back from this break, we've got more news for you, as well as NBBA playoffs. Stay with us.